Hey, welcome back to Hot Dog Sports. This video is part of our series where we analyze the 2021 MLB baseball depth charts of all 30 Major League teams. We do this in preparation for the 2021 Major League Baseball Fantasy regular season. This is what we specialize in. We want to determine who will be playing regularly, where they will be playing in the batting lineup or the rotation, and should we pick them up for our team. Today we are going to look at the Tampa Bay Rays. Before we begin, take a look down below and subscribe to my channel so you can stay in touch. I will see you on the other side of the introduction, and watch on. So let's get started. Before I begin talking about the Rays' starting rotation, I want to say that it's a team that's built on the success of the greater sum of all the parts. What I mean by this is the individual players don't make a huge impact, but as a group, they are incredibly successful. For fantasy baseball, there will be very few players of interest on this team, but that doesn't mean that they won't be successful. Last year, the Tampa Bay Rays made it all the way to the World Series, and it was no fluke. The Tampa Bay Rays team is one of the things about baseball that makes it great, at least to me. So let's get started talking about the starting rotation. Tyler Glasnow, Ryan Yarbrough, Michael Wacha, Chris Archer, and Rich Hill make up the starting rotation. No more Charlie Morton, who signed a one-year deal with the Atlanta Braves after the Rays declined to keep him. Glasnow is a strong pitcher but lacks control. Yarbrough moved from the bullpen to the rotation last year but had an injury late in the season. After many years with the Cardinals, 29-year-old veteran pitcher Wacha has joined the Rays after a stint with the Mets. Archer has returned to the Rays after a few injury-plagued years with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Archer passed his physical and missed last season with surgery. Rounding out the rotation is Rich Hill, who just signed. Hill, in the latter part of his career, could be called a crafty lefty. So let's look at the position players. Catcher Mike Zunino with backup Francisco Mejia set up for a very competent tandem. Still, they have some power for hitting. At first base is Ji-Man Choi. Gotta love this guy. After short stints with the Angels, Yankees, and Brewers, he has come into his own with the Rays. He plays with a fun, great attitude. Yeah, he is strong defensively, and despite a low batting average around .250, he often comes up with very timely hitting with some power. At second base is Brandon Lowe, not to be confused with Lowe, L-O-W-E, but pronounced Lowe. He is expected to hit around .270 in 2021 with some pop in his bat. Lowe was an All-Star in 2019, representing the Rays with high expectations coming into 2021. Joey Wendell at third base and Willie Adames at shortstop round out the infield. Wendell has become an everyday player with the Rays, having come from the Oakland A's where he only had limited playing time. Adames also has grown into the shortstop position, and together with Wendell, they really have strengthened the left side of the infield. So let's take a look at the outfield. In left field, Randy Arozarena. He has emerged as a threat hitting late last season, and particularly in the playoffs last season. He was phenomenal. He set the Major League record for home runs in a single postseason with 10 last year. I mean, he was on fire. As of 2020, center fielder Kevin Kiermaier has become the longest tenured Ray. So going into 2021, he's just the old man. He made his Major League debut on September 30th, 2013. Here's what's interesting about that date. It was also the game 163 of that regular season, and it was the wild card tiebreaker game. Just amazing. What a time to step into the major leagues. Kiermaier has always been known to be strong defensively, and virtually like all the Rays batters, he has the ability to get a timely hit despite the fact that he has a relatively low batting average. Rounding up with the lineup are Manuel Margot, a transplant from the San Diego Padres. He has a lot of speed. And then a DH is Austin Meadows. I would say he's probably the best pure hitter on the team. Meadows came from the Pirates, and he often is used as the DH and has been for a number of years. Meadows tested positive last year for the COVID-19, which caused him to miss the beginning of the season, and he really had a difficult time coming back. The year before, 2019, he was exceptional. He batted .291 with 33 home runs and 89 RBIs in just 138 games. He did really well. They're hoping that he will come back to be like that this season. So the relief corps, the bullpen, just like the rest of the team, but particularly in the bullpen, this will be by committee. Pitchers in general, the entire pitching staff, starters through closers, could come in at any time in a game. Remember, the Rays were famous for starting a guy, having him pitch to the first 3-4 batters, and then switching pitchers. That way they could throw off the other team in setting up their lineups. So we don't know what's going to happen. On this list, despite having Diego Castillo, Nick Anderson, and Pete Fairbanks listed as their closers, who knows? Possibly the most impactful pitcher out of the pen, and maybe their most impactful pitcher for the season, maybe Colin McHugh, who they just signed. He had a lot of success in Houston. He was used in a lot of capacities. He did not play last year. Let me explain. He had signed with the Red Sox, but the reports have it that his elbow was not healing properly from his non-surgical procedure that he had had during the offseason prior to last year. And so he didn't play in 2020. Who will be the most likely selections for the 2021 Fantasy Baseball? Who would be the ones that you would want to pick? Well, rather than having any sure selections, as I mentioned, everything is by committee with this team, I would say that the most likely prospect would be Austin Meadows. If he could return to the form that he had in 2019, where he hit so well, Austin Meadows could be an impactful player. It's a big question, though. Thank you for watching Hot Dog Sports, where we are keeping you in the game. Before I let you go, don't forget, please subscribe. See you next time.